Welcome back to Forest Adventures with Freya. Joking, I never called it Forest Adventures ever. Why are we not going in to drive? Didn't I not bring my sunglasses? In order to activate your pineal gland, I'm very sensitive to lights, partially because I have blue eyes, but also just because I'm a sensitive person. We're going to head to the waterfall today as I talk about psychedelics, mindfulness, meditation, and maybe if I might even go so far as to call it like mindfulness bypassing. I have been a practitioner of mindfulness. I want to say since the day I was born. I have always been a very keen and astute observer. We're going to explore psychedelics, plant medicine. What do I know about that stuff? I know a lot. I might look like an innocent woman over here, but I am not. My first time I tried LSD was in high school. I believe I was in grade 12 or 13. Still in my teen years, and it was amazing. Ayahuasca has become very popular. It's like it's become a quick fix for mindfulness, to experience what years and years and years of meditation practice can afford me. When you're connecting your body, your thoughts, your mind, your feelings, your sensations, with the sensation of your breath, that's when you start to become a mindful being, and that's when you start to remove the ego. And this is the whole point of mindful meditation, insight meditation, even transcendent meditation, meta meditation, is to separate yourself from the ego, to separate yourself from who you think you are, who you want to be, who you think you should be, who you're not, and just be in this moment. And, sometimes depending on what kind of states you can get to in your meditation, you can experience some states that are similar to a psychedelic experience. That takes practice because you have to clear those neurological pathways enough, calm them down, quiet them down, for the other ones to open up, for that DMT to release. So you might hear that autistic people naturally have higher levels of DMT in their brain, which explains why their perception of their experiences are much different and sometimes more intense than somebody who is not neurodivergent, is not on the autistic spectrum. All right, we're here. I'm not even going to pay for parking. Too bad. The whole point of this video is to encourage you, sure, try those substances, try those psychedelics, have those trips, have those experiences, but don't use it to bypass the actual practice of living in the moment on purpose, as if your life depends on it, because it does. Risk it. See if I get a ticket. Don't you love when you thought you hit record and you weren't recording? Damn it. Oh, it's so beautiful. When you do a psychedelic drug like mushrooms, ayahuasca, DMT, LSD, visually, like colors are enhanced. Textures, shapes are enhanced. Looking at the bark of this tree, it would be moving. And it actually is. You touch a tree and you can start to feel its energy. So having had that experience, knowing what that looks like, knowing how I can view the world in a way thanks to plant medicine. When I'm just in my normal brain state, I have a memory of that now. I know what that looked like. I know what that experience was. And now I can replicate it to a certain degree without the use of the psychedelic drugs. Like even just passing through these 3 trees. You see these 3 trees right here? Okay. So I'm going to pass through these 3 trees. Like normally, you wouldn't think anything of it. But because I'm connected to my source energy and the source energy of all things, when I pass through those trees, I feel the presence of those trees. When I'm in the present moment, on purpose, these trees have a story to tell me. I can see just like, look at this one over here with its bark partially coming up. Oh, that one has a face. Do you see the face? Do you see the shape? Do you see what I see? So, there we have it. Just came across a little couple who saw me climbing up there, and they're like, she doesn't even wear sneakers. She's just got her sandals on as she's climbing up the rocks. Usually I take my shoes off. It's so invigorating being next to that rushing water. It really is. And a lot of times people will come in here, they'll marvel at the waterfall, they'll get their photo ops in, you know? But will they like just pause and feel the energy that exists here? Can they access the energy that exists? And you're not going to be able to access the energy that exists out there if it doesn't exist in here. And if what exists out there you are not comfortable with, you will reject it in here. Sometimes people have really awful experiences with ayahuasca or mushrooms. They're very fearful. They don't want to access that part of their lives, of their brain, of their subconscious reality, of whatever it is that's waiting for them out there. Because if you're not right within, it's going to be a challenge, and that's okay. That's freaking life. This is one of the lessons that we learn in our mindfulness practice. Meditation is the practice. Mindful living is the game. If you are not practiced enough, when you go out to live and play the game, it's going to be really hard. You're going to mess it up. You're going to fuck it up for sure. We all do. And what I know is the more you practice in your meditation or just in a mindful, present moment, in the here and now, on purpose, the easier that game gets out there. You're like, oh, I know, this looks familiar. I know this part of the game. The second you leave the game to go into the past or worry about the future, you can't play the game from those perspectives. You just, I don't know where you went, but you're no longer in the game. So meditation is the practice, and it's one that can yield the same, if not even higher states of consciousness than you can achieve from psychedelics. Now, I know that psychedelics have been used to help people overcome addiction. So has mindfulness. Psychedelics have helped people overcome trauma. So has the practice of mindfulness. Psychedelics have allowed people to open up new neural pathways in their brain, change the way they think, be open to new perspectives and beliefs. So has the practice of mindful meditation. People who practice mindful meditation are more likely to try out the psychedelics. People who are living a mindful life are more likely to go there. Go like deeper into the present moment. You know, like there's only so much things that we can actually perceive on a normal, regular day. And so, and people who have done psychedelics are also more likely to engage in mindful meditation. So psychedelics can be a helpful tool for people to feel more comfortable in the present moment, maybe allow themselves to become more drawn to the practice of mindfulness as a result, once they see what exists out there, once they have lost that self-identity, once they have addressed that fear of the unknown, of their own mind. Oh, I love these little chairs. Oh, it's too small for me. I think I hurt my butt on that thing. So, It's not about escaping the present moment. It's about being here with it on purpose without judgment. You know, you always have discernment, but you don't have to carry around judgment. You don't have to carry around false perceptions of yourself. You are fully alive. You are fully awake. You are fully aware. You're fully paying attention. Wow. When you're fully paying attention, when your mind is fully in the present moment, it's amazing what you see. And sometimes, yeah, you're going to see some things that are a little scary that you don't want to face. But guess what? They pass. They pass. You move through them. And then they're a distant past that you look back on. And you're like, wow, oof, got through that. And then when that comes again and you see that again, you're not as scared because you're like, I've seen that before. I know what that's all about. It passes. It goes away. It's here to show me something that I need to know or teach me something that I need to learn. Same with the ayahuasca experience or psilocybin mushroom experience, even the LSD experience or DMT experience. There might be a few little scary moments, but you move through them. Some of them are really intense. Some of them are really fun and exhilarating and elating and blissful. An immense level of gratitude that you never knew existed before. You're overwhelmed on so many levels. The same thing can happen to you when you practice mindful meditation. When you are in the present moment on purpose, paying attention to all 5 of your senses, 6 senses even, reaching up to the 7th dimensional reality, whatever that is. It's bliss, okay? Just talking about it, just being able to relive that feeling in my body, knowing what it feels like. Somebody asked me, Freya, you want to go and do some shrooms today? Like, well, I would prefer if we could get that started around 10 a.m., noon at the latest. Make sure we have a spot in nature to hike through for a good 5 hours. Let's bring some really interesting foods of this earth. Red peppers, oranges, I want to say pamplemousse, ananas. Oui, je parle français, mais très pas bien. Watermelon, pomelos, antelope, crunchy carrots, really bright, colorful, water-filled fruit and vegetables. Most times you don't have much of an appetite at all when you're using these psychedelics and the experience begins. But then there comes a point in your trip where the right food at the right time can be a real experience. You taste these things like you've never tasted them before. You never knew it could taste so good. And why is that? Well, because before, when you would eat these things, you wouldn't be in the present moment fully with your 5 senses enjoying it. This is another thing that the practice of mindfulness allows you to do. Become a mindful eater. Being guided mindfully and intuitively, what your body automatically craves and needs to sustain itself, which isn't a lot. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. Make sure you comment and follow. Let me know what your experiences have been. It's too small for my butt. One final thing, okay? As I'm coming back to my car, there's these young kids. They can't be more than like 25 in university around here. And the guy is saying to the girl that he's with, the time that he did 3 tabs of acid, and she's like, oh my God. And he's like, it was going really well. It was really great until we smoked weed. Don't be imbibing in more than one thing. You're being excessive with it. You're being uncaring towards it. You're then introducing another drug on top of it, and they're competing with each other. That's not how substances are supposed to work. You can't have the attention to understand which response is coming from where. You have all these amazing epiphanies and insights and visuals. How do you know how much of that is from the drug and how much of that is from your own mind, your own essence of who you are? Oh, yeah. I also didn't get a parking ticket.